spoke to many recruiters, HRs, and career experts. And guess what? They all had the same thing to say. Freshers never know what they are signing up for. Out of desperation, they all say yes too fast. And the companies never tell you the hidden traps in your first offer letter. But don't worry, today I will. Hello everyone, I am your fresher coach Ishita and welcome back to Freshers GPT. And in today's video, I am going to tell you all the 10 most crucial things that you need to check before signing your first big offer letter, which will save you from getting trapped in a company and regret later. And I'll also be telling you how specifically you can check each and every point through your offer letter. And 80% of the freshers never check the last 4 things that I'm about to tell you. So make sure that you stay with me till the end, and usse pehle don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Point number 1, the CTC scam, or you can say the salary breakdown.
So आपका starting package होगा 6 LPA.
Sounds pretty amazing, right? But do you actually get 50,000 per month? Nope. So your CTC, or the cost to company, is basically the total amount that a company spends on you and not exactly what you take home. So these CTCs are designed to look all glamorous on paper, but in reality, the freshers are often left with a very small fraction of what actually was promised to you during your hiring. And the freshers often get fooled by these lucrative shiny numbers, which the companies very cleverly add in the form of allowances, performance bonus, joining bonus, insurance, and majorly ESOPs into your CTC. Basically the things that you don't immediately get as cash in hand. And if we talk about ESOPs, they majorly include like 50 to 60% of your CTC, which means that you'll have to work a certain number of years, let's say 2 to 3 in a company, to earn the right to own these ESOPs. So imagine 60% ka aapka package is something which you won't get in hand for almost good 2-3 years in the company. Now, how to check this? Number 1, ask for the full salary breakdown during the interview itself or the compensation structure document. Number 2, look at your fixed pay versus variable pay. Now, your variable pay includes your allowances, your bonuses, incentives, which are basically not guaranteed. So you need to ask what will be your joining bonus, when will you receive the performance bonus, when can you turn your ESOPs into cash, and etc. And you need to focus on your cash in hand, which you are going to receive every month. And number 3, calculate your in-hand salary, which is basically your CTC number minus bonuses, minus provident fund, minus ESOPs, and minus taxes. Pro tip, if almost 40 to 50% of your CTC is variable, then trust me, you are looking at a very low salary. And by the way, if you guys want a full breakdown on how your CTC versus in-hand works, then don't forget to check this video of mine. Number 2, job roles and responsibilities. Basically the title scam. So you need to check, are your job duties clearly defined? If it's all vague, then trust me, there are 80% chances that you are going to do a lot more than you are signing up for. For example, I've seen many freshers apply for the roles of a marketing executive, but they get offer letters for the role of business development associate. Now this sounds pretty cool, right? But in reality, you might just get stuck in hardcore sales for the entire year. Now how to check this? Number 1, ensure that your offer letter has the same job title as the one you interviewed for. Number 2, ask for a detailed job description and match it with the responsibilities that were actually discussed during your interview. Number 3, now this is a very basic one, but Google the job title. Now there are companies who give very vague names to some roles like management trainee, but in reality the role is actually of just telecalling or data entry. And after all this, if your actual work is far from what you wanted to do or from what you expected, then trust me, you'll eventually start hating your job, or you will be stuck with unrealistic targets. So always be clear about your job roles and responsibilities. Number 3, probation period and confirmation rules.
So पहले 6 months के लिए आपको probation पे रखा जाएगा, फिर performance के basis पे आपका confirmation होगा.
But what if they never confirm you? So many companies practice this. They hire freshers on probation and keep them for months and even for years at times without making them permanent in the company. And in probation, you have lower job security, which means that you can be fired anytime very easily. You don't get your full benefits like the other employees. Benefits like provident fund, medical insurance, your performance bonus, etc. And most of the times your pay would be quite low than the permanent employees. Now how to check this? Ask the HR what's the official probation period. It's ideally 3 to 6 months, and if it's more than that, then think twice. Number 2, read the offer letter carefully. It should mention the probation period and the confirmation process. Number 3, check if the salary increases after probation. Some companies give hikes after the probation, and if the company keeps it vague or doesn't commit to a timeline, that's a red flag. Point number 4, your work hours, or we can say the 9 to 9 trap.
ये तो फ्लेक्सिबल जॉब है, लेकिन कभी कभी थोड़ा लेट तक काम करना पड़ सकता है.
So many freshers assume that they'll be working just a normal 9 to 5, and post that they'll be free, they'll chill and relax. But after joining, they realize that the work hours are crazy, maybe 10 to 12 hours daily. There's no extra overtime pay, no extra leaves, and work-life balance? What's even that? Now, how to check this? Number 1, connect with companies' current and ex-employees on Glassdoor and LinkedIn, and you can ask them about the actual work hours. One thing you can do here is read the informal reviews about the company's work hours on Reddit. Number 2, check if the contract mentions fixed shift or open-ended work hours. Number 3, if the HR says, be extra careful. It is probably a sign that you will be working extra hours daily. Pro tip, if the offer letter says that you may be required to work beyond your normal hours without mentioning any limits, expect overtime exploitation. Number 5, job stability. See, I understand for freshers, getting your first offer letter or your first job is itself a very big task. And once you get it, you just feel like out of desperation that let's just accept the offer for now and बाकी चीज़ें बाद में देखी जाएंगी. But that's the biggest mistake. Now, how you can check? Read the company reviews on Glassdoor, Ambition Box and LinkedIn. Check if the employees are actually talking about financial instability or layoffs. Check the news articles and the financial reports. See if it's a public company, तो उसके annual financial statements सबके लिए available होंगे. And if it's a startup, check its funding history. Platforms like Crunchbase and Your Story will tell you that if the company has received a recent funding or not. And look out for these red flags. Reviews mentioning high attrition rate or financial instability, frequent mass layoffs or delayed salaries, vague terms like we are structuring or the company is pivoting. Run. Point number 6, your leaves and holiday policy.
तो कंपनी की पॉलिसीज के हिसाब से आप फर्स्ट 6 मंथ तक कोई भी लीव नहीं ले सकते.
मतलब, be ready to work your off. So freshers mostly assume that every corporate job will give weekend offs, will practice a 5-day work week, plus casual leaves, plus paid leaves. But the reality is very different. Some companies don't even allow leaves during your probation, and some deduct salary for even sick leaves. Yes, even if you provide a doctor's note. And some companies practice a leave approval culture, which means that a manager can cancel your leave even if your request is legitimate. And how to check it? Ask the HR how many leaves will I be getting annually and can I take it in the first 6 months? Check if the leaves are getting carry forward or they are getting cut at the year end. Look for the mandatory working days. Pro tip again, if HRs avoid discussing the leave or the holiday policy, there are 80% chances that they don't believe in the concept of work-life balance. Point number 7, training and growth. Basically, learning or just doing.
अरे हाँ, यहाँ पे आपको बहुत सीखने को मिलेगा.
Freshers mostly join companies with a lot of growth expectations, but in reality some companies just make them do repetitive tasks, that too without any sort of learning, zero mentorship programs or any upskilling programs, and there's no clear promotion path for them. So if you don't want to get stuck in a monotonous or a stunted growth environment, this is what you can do. Ask the HR, does the company have structured training programs? Check LinkedIn profiles of seniors. Are they growing in this company or are they switching soon or they are stuck in the same roles for years? Look for the promotion criteria in the contract. Some companies don't provide any growth even if you stay there for 2 to 3 years. Point number 8, company culture. So imagine a workplace where your boss is toxic, weekend work is always expected, unnecessary micromanagement is very common, and the concept of work-life balance is just a joke. Can you survive there? Now what you can do here is check the company's social media handles. Are the employees actively engaging? Like, is there any fun content, any lighter content, or all posts are just corporate PR? Read the employee reviews on Glassdoor, LinkedIn, Reddit. See, almost every company writes that we promote work-life balance on their website. But the reality is very different, and it usually comes from the reviews. You can also ask the HR during the interview that how does the company support employee well-being, and if you get vague answers or very non-serious answers for that, take it as a red flag. If there is no mention of any employee engagement programs, no team bonding events, I'll say this again, think 100 times before joining such companies, because there are high chances that you will get exhausted and your energy will be completely drained by the end of the job. Now, point number 9, the notice period and the exit policy. Basically, will you be stuck there?
तो अगर आपको जॉब स्विच करनी है तो आपको 3 मंथ्स का नोटिस पीरियड देना पड़ेगा एंड 2 lakhs की पेनल्टी भी लगेगी.
But what if you hate the job eventually or get any better offers? You will be trapped and you won't be able to switch jobs very easily. Now, some companies have these ridiculous exit terms like 3 months notice period, which, by the way, the new employers hate waiting for. 1 month notice period for you, 3 months for them. They can fire you easily, but you are stuck. And some companies have these bond agreements as well, which basically forces you to stay in the company for 1 to 3 years, charges heavy penalty, which can range from 50,000 to even 3 lakhs if you decide to leave early. And now, how you can save yourself from this? Read the notice period duration in the offer letter. Ask the HR if negotiation is possible. And if there is a bond, trust me, read it very carefully before signing it up and check if it is just for the training costs or to trap the employees. And now we come to the last point. And I don't think I've seen any fresher checking this before signing their first offer letter. And that is the offer letter validity.
तो आपको जॉब मिल गई है लेकिन एक फाइनल अप्रूवल बाकी है.
So some companies give conditional offers that can be revoked, mentions subject to background check, but don't define the rejection criteria. Delay the final confirmation until just before the joining of the fresher. Now, how you can check the validity? Ensure that your offer letter has a clear joining date and a fixed salary. Check if it says subject to management decision, because that's a risk. You can also ask the HR if this is the final offer or is it still under review. And last pro tip of the video. Until your joining date is fixed, keep applying elsewhere. You don't need to get stuck with one offer letter and have no backup plans. And my final advice for today, don't just sign, investigate, ask questions, check reviews. If something feels off, ask the HR and negotiate. And if something feels super off, walk away. Remember, one wrong decision, one bad first job can ruin years of your career, and you don't want to be that. And do let me know in the comments if you have any queries regarding your offer letter, and also let me know if you have ever seen a suspicious offer letter. And don't forget to share this video with those friends of yours who are still looking for their first offer letters and whom you think might get trapped into these clauses. And don't forget to follow along my content and also follow me on Instagram. Bye.